So 3rd of August, it's parkrun day, and today is a very special parkrun. Why is today a very special parkrun, Dawn?
It's Weymouth 500.
Yes indeed, Weymouth Parkrun is celebrating its 500th event. Now, we were here for the first ever event, I think in late August 2013. 126 runners that day, and I think, looking back at the records, something like 33 volunteers. Now Weymouth Parkrun attracts in the high 300s, sometimes over 400, so expecting a big crowd out today. So I have actually vlogged Weymouth Parkrun before, but that is the winter course, which takes place along the seafront over there. We're on the summer course today, which is a mixture of trails and a little bit of tarmac. And it takes place at somewhere called Lodmore Country Park. We're in the park now, but not actually on the parkrun course. We're walking towards it. So the summer or winter, Weymouth Parkrun is well served with a large car park, ample toilets, and it was lovely for Dawn to bump into her old friend Sue. So just bumped into Jason, fan of the channel, his first time at Weymouth Parkrun for event number 500. What time do you think you're going for today?
27 minutes today.
27 minutes, well, have a good one. So with it being the height of the British holiday season, there were tourists from all over the country and indeed all across the globe, including Penistone there. Big stretch before we run.
He was on our first run 10 years ago.
We were Squire and a few others we spotted too.
3, 2, 1, go!
And we're off! Weymouth Parkrun 500s!
So we'll come back to Dawn's run later, but what I managed to do today was to get the whole course on point of view. So I will take you through it. I'll speed bits up and give a commentary, but you'll be able to see the whole course. If you did it today, hopefully look out for yourself, and if you're looking to do this parkrun in the future, you should get an idea of how the course pans out. So we'll leave the car park. In a minute we're going to swing a left, and it does get a little bit tight. I found myself not totally boxed in, but there were times I wanted to stretch out a little bit more, but I just had to be patient, bide my time, and just enjoy the parkrun. So you can see out of the car park, we're then onto a gravelly surface. In my experience, you can always run on road shoes whatever the time of year. Well, it is the summer course, but even if it's been raining a bit, it's road shoes all the way for this one. So just going up this gravel track now, and then we come on to a little bit of tarmac. Mind the bollards there, we don't want a nasty accident at Weymouth Parkrun.
So while John had decided to go for it today, I decided I was going to have more of a steady run and run with my friend Sue, who normally does around 24 minutes.
So I hope it's enhancing your enjoyment of this parkrun, having Dawn Cam in the corner where she recorded things, and as I said, seeing the whole point of view from the camera on my cap. For the tarmac section, you swing a right to go back off-road. You're completing a loop here before heading on a longish out and back, which is the main part of the course. There are some places to pass here, as you can see, but as you'll see in a minute, there are also other places where it's not really safe or fair to pass runners at this point, so you just lock in to the pace you're doing.
It was nice to do a parkrun with Sue, having first run with her 22 years ago. Just like old times.
So as you can see on this trail section, again at this time of year, nothing to trouble the road shoe wearer. I was wearing my Adidas Takumi Sen 8 and had no problem at all. In fact, it was quite a nice soft surface to run on. You could get some momentum going without battering your legs on this section. So we're now back on tarmac, as you can see, to swing round a right and to complete the first loop before heading out on the long out and back section of the course. So through 1 kilometre in 4:06, which actually I'm quite pleased with, because it's not fast enough to think I need to push and try and get a sub 20, but it means I'm on for a pleasing time of sub 21 on this particular course. It's not the fastest course in the world, but nor is the slowest. It's a good, fair old time trial course in the great traditions of parkrun. So now back round to the point we reached at about 100 metres into the race, swing a right on the off-road section again, and as you can see, the run has thinned out by now, and it's perfectly feasible to get into whatever pace you want by here. So just after 1k, if you're patient, you can pick up the pace to whatever you want it to be. So it's just a case, as I said, of being patient on that first kilometre if you are a little bit hemmed in. don't worry because there's plenty of time to catch any seconds up. So from here on until the final kilometre we're all on tarmac. The course does climb a little bit at this stage, so again you're probably glad you held back at the beginning. But as you can see, plenty of room to pass even though it's quite a narrow path. So important divergence point here, please don't go on the right because you'll end up where we parked our car and did the intro for this video. No, let's take a left and go on the out and back section of the Weymouth parkrun summer course. So nice splits again at the 2 kilometre marker, not quite close enough to push for a sub 20, but comfortably inside sub 21, so I can enjoy this parkrun. So now we're passing a rugby club on the right, and in front of you, you can see the runners snaking round to the right. As I said earlier, there is a little bit of a climb on this section. Nothing too much to worry about, but there is a definite change in the way you're running at this point. So a good bit of marshalling going on here, protecting runners from cars entering and exiting the car park to the left and the right. And we're heading out now, and there's probably about a quarter of a mile to go from this point up to the turnaround point at the top of the course. So as you can see, I'm gradually overtaking people here, but I am conscious that if I veer too much to the right at this point we might get faster runners coming down, so keep an eye out for that. And here we go, just starting to see the leaders come back down the slope now. So it was a bumper turnout today for Weymouth parkrun, event number 500, 617 finishers. It was in fact their 3rd largest finish ever and the largest since the return of COVID. Now before COVID, this was the only parkrun in the area. The Great Field at Dorset started just after COVID, which has helped keep the numbers at Weymouth down. So as I say, the biggest field here for a considerable length of time, well over 5 years. Also in this field there were 27 runners going to be finishing in 20 minutes or under, including 4 females, so an absolutely stacked field today. So just going up to the turnaround point now, known as the Pineapple for obvious reasons, and there is actually a marshal dressed as a pineapple at this point, which is a lovely touch, I'm sure you'll all agree. So now we're heading back down the slope, and it's nice because you can look out for your friends, your club mates, etc. I'm on a lookout for Dawn and Sue as I go back down, and you can pick up some pace on this part of the course. Also, in this hypothetical world where parkrun is some sort of competition, you can also check on any rivals or people you've overtaken and see how far they are behind you, should that thought ever cross your parkrun head. So as we're watching runners go up and runners go down and waiting for Dawn and Sue to arrive, I thought I'd appraise you of the 5 Weymouth facts I'm going to share with you as we are visiting Weymouth at the minute. So the first one, going all the way back to 1348, is that the Black Death actually arrived on these shores at the port of what was then Weymouth and Melcombe Regis. So a grim period in world history really, but Weymouth and Melcombe Regis at the centre of that particular event. We then roll forward to the time of Henry VIII, who had a couple of forts built along Weymouth Bay and Portland Bay, which you can still see and visit today. I think we've got Dawn and Sue coming up in a minute. So there you go, we're safely past each other. So on to Weymouth fact number 3, and in 1944 it was the place from which several thousand American troops departed in June to take part in the D-Day landings, and sadly several of them would never see the end of that fateful day of the 6th of June. So jumping forward to 2012, and Weymouth and Portland was the host for the sailing events at the Olympic Games that was held in this country during that year. And the final fact, I always like to look for somebody famous from anywhere we visit, and the most famous person who was born in Weymouth I could find is Alan Carr, the comedian that many people find very funny. He was born in Weymouth before moving to elsewhere. So we're coming back down the slope now, the rugby field is on our left, and you can pick up some little bit of speed here. This kilometre was actually the fastest one of the entire parkrun for me. So our love affair with the long tarmac section coming to an end now, and we're back on the trail loop with which we started the parkrun. And there's a nice clear path for me to enjoy the final part of this lovely parkrun. As you can see, Dawn and Sue still enjoying their parkrun too. And for the final section, we're back on my home soil, as it were, of this tarmac path. So just rounding into the final corner with a big surge into the car park, or so I thought, as I head towards where we started. But I'm about to go off course, and I'm directed in the right way here. I'm sure it's about the 4th iteration of the course I've done in 7 different runs here. But hey ho, we managed to actually find the finish line, so navigation with the support of the volunteers and spectators, all good. And across the finish line in a pleasing time of 20:28, my fastest time here since that inaugural back in 2013.
Well done.
Cheers.
Enjoy your site.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks sir, and well done yourself on what I think is one of the top age gradings of today's run. So what a joyous occasion Weymouth parkrun number 500 was, and I stayed to watch some of the other runners come in and wait for Dawn and Sue to finish. Hot work here for this chap, dousing himself with water just before the finish line. Must have been hot work out there, sir. And a fellow member of the 500 club coming in. And here we go to running broom, successfully completing Weymouth parkrun with Dawn finishing in 25:05. So I've got to be pleased with that, my fastest time there since said inaugural back in 2013. Anyway, yeah, lovely event, and well done to Weymouth, all the volunteers and everybody else concerned with the parkrun for reaching number 500. And who knows, we may be back for event number 1000 in about 10 years time. So I hope you've enjoyed joining us for this wonderful celebratory day in the life of Weymouth parkrun. If you have, please give this video a like, and if you'd like to see our further parkrun adventures and our training towards our autumn marathons, then please subscribe to the channel. So until next time, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.